Hey everyone, I'm Meg Haywood Sullivan. I'm a photographer, environmental activist, and Surfrider Foundation ambassador. For over 35 years, Surfrider has been protecting our coastlines. And last year they had over 60 victories relating to reducing plastics in our environment. But how do they achieve these bills, laws, and policies? I wanted to find out. So I sat down with Surfrider experts and activists to find out how they achieve these victories and what it means for the health of our planet. A lot of people are familiar with the beach cleanups that Surfrider does. Tell me how things go from beach cleanups to policy.
The beach cleanups we've been doing for over 35 years, but the policy part has really blossomed in the past 10 years.
The Subcommittee on National Parks, Forests, and Public Lands will now come to order.
Because we wanted to start making more laws to reduce plastics on the front end, so it can't ever reach the beach.
Council members, my name is Craig Cadwallader, and I'm speaking on behalf of the Surfrider Foundation South Bay chapter. The lids here are polylactic acid. They are not polystyrene. These are actually compostable. So there are alternatives that don't include polystyrene.
Once you get out there and you start cleaning our beaches, you cannot deny that plastic pollution is a problem. What we do beyond that is actually collect the data. We input it into our online database, and then we're able to pull reports and use that information to inform what policy decisions we should be working on next.
Can you tell me what it was like in Culver City passing the polystyrene ban?
We already had some champions on the city council who we knew were going to push forward this legislation to get passed, but we had to show up as activists.
And I know that a lot of urban runoff contributes to the pollution in the ocean, and that's something that this ordinance can directly help.
We are really excited that Council will be discussing our proposal and giving direction to staff to ban all polystyrene serviceware.
I appreciate BCR, I appreciate the Surfrider Foundation and all the other environmental organizations that have come out. I can tell you for myself personally, it's been an education. Do I have a motion?
We have a motion by Clark and a second by Erickson.
Thank you.
We should be keeping our politicians accountable to do their job and to do what's best for our communities.
It's really simpler than people think, you know? It's about sharing from the heart what these progressive bills at the local level mean to you as a volunteer.
Going up against the plastic industry, they have a lot of resources, they have a lot of money, and they're dumping money on opposition campaigns, and that means that we're just that much closer.
The work that you did with the public, like how did that lead to some of these bag bans and being implemented on a much bigger scale?
So we know in California, it was 2007, San Francisco was the first one to implement it. And then almost 10 years later, the bag ban went into effect statewide. And in that time, over 150 other municipalities were covered by a bag ban. So our members were saying, oh, there's laws that we can pass to address the problems on the beach. So that's why I got a little bit more active in the campaigns, and then we made a bag ban toolkit so other municipalities could start doing the same thing and addressing single-use plastic pollution on their beaches.
So we see victories at the local level much more so than at the state or national level. But I know that the plastics industry is spending a lot of time and money fighting even those smaller battles. With local bag laws, the plastics industry still shows up and speaks at those hearings and still makes it very difficult to pass a lot of these laws just because they want to protect the market for their products. But those small victories really add up to a lot. We wouldn't be talking about the Break Free from Plastic Pollution Act unless we had seen so many small local victories leading to state victories, and now really talking about plastic pollution reduction at the federal level in a real way.
I've been taking my own refillable bottle for probably over 10 years because I should be inconvenienced a little bit when it comes to the planet.
Would love to hear how Surfrider implements social media and like op-eds. How do we use that as tools to reach a wider audience and also put pressure to get legislative change?
So a big part of Surfrider is these campaigns that we run, and those are typically tied with action alerts. and these action alerts is a quick way to get the background about a specific bill that we're advocating for. You fill out a form and it'll go to your representative. On bills that are really important to us, we asked our activists to specifically, use the representative's Twitter handle to really directly communicate with these elected officials saying, these bills are really important. We need you to vote yes for these.
Request Brianna Bard to address council.
And from our lens of being environmentalists, that looks like from sea to shining sea, whether it be inland, on the coast, or within the sea itself. And when we put up bills for that stuff, that we should be participating.
One of my favorite things about Surfrider, when I first moved to LA and I didn't know anyone, I did my first beach cleanup and I surfed with everyone afterwards. And that was so amazing. You fight hard and you build community and then you get out and you play.
You're right, and that's the other part of Surfrider's mission is there's the protection part of it, but then there's the enjoyment that we absolutely can't forget because that is the reason we all do this.
I feel like people need to be reminded that their actions are important, whether it be like what they buy or how active they are in their political process. My words of wisdom to anybody that's just getting started is that if you never give up, you can never lose.
I'm proud to vote aye and lend my support. The resolution is adopted.
As you can tell, it takes a lot of dedication and teamwork to achieve these victories. And it's going to take all of us working together to reduce the flow of plastic in our environment. We encourage individuals, industries, and governments to protect our seas by challenging what we perceive as normal and helping encourage a more reusable lifestyle. So join Surfrider Foundation's fight against plastic pollution and help make our planet healthy and thriving.